Hey, Giant fans, welcome to the Giant Insider Podcast. My name is Jerry Foley. I'm the senior editor of the Giant Insider newspaper. And with me, as always, is the beat writer for the Giant Insider, Chris Bisignano. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And that Thanksgiving went exactly as the Giants wanted it to go, despite the fact that I almost threw up my turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and blueberry pie, having to root for the Dallas Cowboys today. The NFC East is coming back to us, and all we have to do now, Giant fans, laugh as you will. All we have to do for this to get real, Chris, is beat that damn team from that friggin' city, baby.
Yeah, I tell you, man. It was tough rooting for Dallas, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was terrible. Seriously, it was like, Amari Cooper scored. I'm like, oh, God, this is sickening. I just kept going, oh, it was horrible.
Yeah. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. You too, Jerry. And yeah, I tell you, there was two real bad calls at the end of the game. And I was sitting there like, what's going on? Then I realized, oh, wait a minute. That's actually good.
Yeah, it's the only time when Dallas got a call that went their way, or a couple calls I didn't care. I'm like, oh well, that sucks, Redskins. Sorry. Part of me thought watching that game, like, now that the Redskins have McCoy, are they even going to win another game? Like, should we really be rooting for the Redskins, or But then with 7 wins, it's almost like the division would almost be a formality. They would basically just have to back into a couple wins and win the division if they went 7-3. But man, now 6-4, 6-4, 4-6,
6-5.
I'm sorry, 6-5, 6-5, 4-6, and 3-7, baby. We win one. We are tied for second place.
Yeah, it's funny, Jerry, being around the building yesterday. A lot of people talk about that. Man, if we could go down to Philly and win this game, how interesting is December going to be? So listen, Dallas did their part. The Redskins are back to the pack a little bit, and all the Giants have to do now is do their part. Sunday. So.
And you're watching that game, man, and I don't care what anybody says. Dak Prescott's a hell of an athlete, but not a good quarterback. I will fight anyone on this. And I don't think I'm fighting you. I think you kind of agree with me. The offensive line for Dallas is very good. Zeke Elliott's a good running back, and he can't create, though, like Saquon can. I mean, the holes are there for Zeke, and it's funny. Listen to the Troy Aikman, man. He's like, oh, look at that hole. Look at that great run he just made. I'm like, God, Saquon would kill for a hole like that. But you watch Dallas, you watch him with Jason Garrett. That's what I said, man. I mean, who's afraid of that team? Nobody's afraid of them.
Yeah, and listen, Cowboy fans, don't get excited with the Amari Cooper, like he opened it up so much. Come on, it was just terrible secondary play there. One little seam, he goes 90 yards. The other one, the 40-yarder guy, Mora falls down again. Listen, Cooper hasn't done anything to this game, so I'm not too worried about that either. The whole offense runs through Zeke. At the beginning of the first series, he's running the ball all over the place. Prescott looks good. As soon as they just slow down Zeke a little bit, Prescott starts throwing the ball all over the place. In the ground, short. So that offense strictly is you slow down Elliott, and you put the ball in Prescott's hands. Yep. You're probably going to win the game. Listen, the Cooper thing was that, you hear Troy Aikman, he's so excited in the booth, and, guys on the radio, I just wanted to trade the number 1 for him.
Oh, it's paying off. It's sickening with all those Dallas announcers around us, man. We Giant fans, the world is against you. You have every right to feel that way, because in that first game, you have Tony Romo. And by the way, that game even went our way. I don't care. I'll even take a wild card at 9-7. I just want to win out and then let the chips fall. If it's a wild card, great. So I'm rooting for every possible scenario. I want teams to start eliminating each other now. And that game went our way. You got to root for the Bears to win the NFC North now. So that game went our way, even though I had to listen to Tony Romo the whole time. Then the second game went our way, and you had to listen to Troy Aikman gush over everything. And now the Saints are beating the Falcons 7-0, and on the horizon for Dallas next week, buddy, is your guy, Mr. Drew Brees. So I will, once again, like I was last week, I will be a huge fan of Mr. Drew Brees next week.
Yeah. I think that's a Thursday night game too, down in Dallas, right? So
yeah, and it's sort of a climate control type of atmosphere, right? I mean, Dallas has almost basically a roof. So
here we go again, folks.
No, when it's to my advantage, I'll take it, buddy.
Okay, yeah. So that looks like that could be a very strong possibility of a Dallas loss there. The Redskins, in my opinion, are done. So have to win Sunday though, Bud. I'm not really looking, towards the future unless the Giants come out of the link with a win.
Yeah, and again, like right now, I'm looking at Drew Brees beating the Falcons, and the Falcons will be what 4-7 if they lose, and I mean I'm just trying to come up with every scenario, man. Like we needed, if you're a Giants fan, you're rooting for the Bears, you're rooting for the Cowboys, and you're rooting for the Saints, and you got 2 out of 3, and the Saints are home tonight, right? So, could be a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah. The food was good. Football's been good. It makes you wonder why somebody would defer the coin toss and put the ball in Drew Brees' hand. It's like you're guaranteeing being a 7-0 hole right off the bat. I don't get it with some of these coaches, but anyway, besides the point. Yeah, the Saints are like unstoppable right now, Jerry. They really are. So I expect to win there tonight. And we'll see as we move into the weekend, bud.
Yeah, I mean they're unstoppable, but the one team they lost to was the Rams, who were 9-1 or whatever their record is, and they beat the Chiefs. But anyway, hey, listen, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not here to argue about Drew Brees, buddy.
Hold up. The one team who lost them?
Oh no, yeah, that's right. No, yeah, the Saints beat.
You're right, buddy. I think you might have drank a little too much wine today.
That's right.
Let's move on.
Anyway, on to more important issues, buddy.
Yeah,
the game this Sunday. We've both been kind of talking to each other about this, and you tweeted it.
Yeah.
The biggest matchup in this game, I think, aside from the skill positions, is the difference that Jamon Brown is going to make instead of Patrick Omameh or John Greco at right guard when he's up against Fletcher Cox, who absolutely owns the Giants, has owned them the past few years, and that last game completely demolished the right side of that line. Now, the fact that Brown's there makes things different, and I want to see how that works. I want to see how that goes. Right. So it's going to be it's at least going to be different. I don't know if it's going to be better, but it's going to be different than Omameh. I think the key for the Giants is, and I know there's going to be so many back and forth. This is going to be such a back and forth affair. I can feel it already. But if Philly gets the ball on their first series, whether the Giants have it first or Philly has it first, if the Giants can produce a 3-and-out and get those fans doing what they do best and boo that team off the field, it's going to be so much easier for us, man. I'm just telling you, they're going to get down. They have no one in their secondary. Chris, tell me I'm wrong here.
Well, the fans are definitely itching to boo. Yeah, I have a few Eagle fans, like I've mentioned on previous podcasts.
Yep.
And they're already destroying Wentz, Peterson. So the mood in that building is not going to be good if it doesn't go their way right off the bat. You're absolutely correct, man. So, like you said, the Giants get the ball and they put points on the board, and then they get a stop on the Eagles, or the Eagles get the ball and the Giants, they go 3-and-out, and the Giants get a quick stop. Those fans they're going to turn on their team real quick because they're really down on the Eagles. I mean, if you listen to Philly radio, the fans, you would think like, my God, like what's going on? I understand they're having a tough season, but they did win the Super Bowl last year. They do have a bright young quarterback, and they're destroying everybody in that organization already.
They're killing Carson Wentz. They're like, we don't think he's the quarterback we thought he was. Like, are you?
Oh my God!
Wow. We'll take him next year if you guys want. Like,
yeah,
really?
You guys
okay.
We'll take him.
But,
yep.
They're killing him, and it's interesting. It's fun to listen to it, man.
Yeah, but getting back to your point about Jamon Brown and Fletcher Cox, you know those bean bags on the boardwalk in Jersey you throw into the water or whatever the hell's in that game, that boardwalk game. That's what Fletcher Cox was doing to Patrick Omameh last game. He was picking them up and throwing them like a bean bag into that bottle game, whatever it is in the boardwalk.
Oh yeah, where you try to knock the bottles off.
You knock the bottles over with that little bean bag. That's exactly what Cox was doing to Omameh. He was just throwing them around like a bean bag.
Yeah.
Cox destroyed the Giants up front last game. Hopefully Jamon Brown neutralizes that a little bit. Cox will go over the left guard too with Big Will. They will move him around a little bit, but he mostly lines up over that right guard spot. And if Jamon could contain him a little bit and neutralize, I should say, actually, if he could neutralize him, and that really enhances the Giants, because I look at it, Jerry, as if Eli gets time in this game, he is going to destroy that Eagles secondary.
He should. I mean, they got guys off the street. They are
Yeah.
decimated in that secondary. Like we talked about it the other day. I love that Ingram played a vital role in a win finally, because we love the kid. He has a ton of talent. He caught 2 balls, only 2 thrown his way, but he caught them both and made a huge play. And you got to get that kid having confidence and get him going, right? So you have Odell, who should have a monster game if Eli has time. Sterling Shepard, Ingram, and then Corey Coleman's getting into the act. Like, this is, we talk about it all the time, but this should be the game where this offense explodes on a secondary for, I don't know, I could see 200-yard receivers for the Giants.
Yeah, or a couple of 100-yard guys, right? With Odell and Shep. I mean, Shep had it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Two receivers
Oh, I'm sorry.
100 yards.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I think you meant a 200-yard receiver, which is very possible too.
Right.
but yeah, no question about it, Jerry. You could easily see Shep and Odell going over the century mark in this one. And Ingram, listen, 2 weeks in a row, he came up huge at the end of the game. Listen, there's only so much, there's only so many balls to go around too. But Ingram, hopefully, is more of a factor in this. And if Eli gets Eli coming off the best game of the year by far, this Eagles secondary is, like you said, man, they picking up some guys off the street, practice squads, and they can't cover anybody right now. So hey, listen, the opportunity is there, Jerry. The opportunity is there. And if you get a couple of interceptions, that would be nice too, getting a couple of turnovers too, like last week. But
you just got to hope that the Giants don't start off on offense with a pick like last time. I think it was the second play from scrimmage where Manning threw a pick, and what's his name, the safety for the Eagles, Malcolm Jenkins seems to own Eli, and you just don't want that to happen. And don't give that crowd a chance to get into it, because they looked at the schedule today and thought the same thing. Like, and they're worse than us. I think the rivalry with Philly and Dallas is actually worse. So those guys had to root for Dallas today, and they were probably sick over it, or even more sick than we were.
Yeah.
But look, they're going to think the same thing. If they beat the Giants, then they're in it, and we're completely out of it.
Oh yeah, it's a big one.
So you want to keep that crowd out of it, and you want to keep them booing is what you want to do. You want to set the tone early, and Barkley had a monster game last time. You just hope that he can do. I prefer the game he had last week, where he ran between the tackles and seemed like he got 5 yards a carry every time.
Wait a minute, Jerry. He can't run between the tackles.
That's right. That's what everybody says. Yes.
Did you forget that?
That's right. But
Can't run. Remember last April? Oh, he's not an in-between tackle guy. Strictly kicks it out. That's it.
But you would love to see that kind of game where the Giants control the clock a little bit and keep them off the field and force a few 3-and-outs. And I mean, our defense is what it is. But if maybe Olivier Vernon can step up, I understand you didn't needle him, but you said something to him about this game, right?
Yeah. We were talking. Me and Olivier after the last game, we're talking about looking ahead a little bit and saying, "Hey, these guys took it to you last time. How about you go down there and kick their what?"
Yeah.
And Olivier goes, "Hey, that's the plan, man. We need a little payback, And Pat and Coach Sherman's he's funny, man. Like he in his presses, he's always really cool and stuff. And I posed the question to him the other day in his I keep thinking today's the weekend with this Thanksgiving, but yesterday at the presser, I said, "Hey, Coach, how about a little payback? You guys, you're mentioning this to them about, these guys are taking it to you. This year they took it to you. They've won 8 of the last 10. Of course, not involving Sherman, but beating the organization 8 of the last 10." And Sherman was like, "Nah, I don't really use payback and this and that." He's so full of it. He's talking about, hey, let's get these guys back after what happened. Because that's the only game they've been out of, Jerry. That's the only game they got their butts kicked this year was the Eagle game.
Yeah, there were a couple radio shows that actually used that answer
to
your question as like their intro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one was on. I heard it and I was like, Chris asked that question. Nice job, Chris. So it was like a hype intro. And he's like, "Yeah, we're not really interested in payback. You're just we play them twice a year, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, Shermer, come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
Just admit it. Admit you hate him like we do, and you're embarrassed from last time, and you want to take it to him. Come on."
Well, he's got ties to that Eagle organization for a while, Shermer. So I don't know if he's got that hatred built up yet like we do, but I'm sure it's getting there.
He gets his paychecks from the Giants now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's getting there.
But Wentz last time killed us, and he had one of his worst games last week. And the only thing that scares me about this game coming up is that the Eagles got beaten so badly. I think the spread is 6 in this game. I think it was 9, and it's down to 6 or 5 or something like that. which I guess means everyone's taking the Giants. But Wentz killed us, man. He looked phenomenal. He had no turnovers, 3 touchdowns. He was 26 of 36 for almost 300 yards. And on the other side, Eli looked. I thought that was the game where Giant fans were like, all right, we got to move on, man. But he had no time. Eli had no time to throw.
He was under siege. Yeah.
But the Eagles they didn't kill us rushing. I mean, 31 for 108 total, and it was kind of scattered between Smallwood, Clement, and Wentz, and our buddy Darren Sproles didn't practice again, so he can't kill us this time.
What's interesting, Jerry? When we played them last month, they were number 1 against the rush.
Yep.
Okay, they are now number 12 against the rush. They are having a problem stopping the rush. So I have a feeling, Jerry, that the Eagles secondary is decimated. We know that. So I think a lot of people think that Sherman's going to come out and start winging it all over the lot. I don't think he is. I think he's going to try to establish Barkley again, like he has the last 2 weeks, especially last week. They started the game with 3 straight runs with Saquon, something that I've been screaming about in the podcast. Remember early in the year, I don't care what happens, just run the ball first 10 times. Remember I said that, Jerry?
Yep.
Back then, they ran it the first 3 times. He definitely established Barkley. I think you're going to see that again Sunday.
Well, that was the game where Barkley only ran 13 times. He had 130 yards, averaged 10 yards a carry. Now, one of them was a 50-yard run, but then he also caught 9 passes for 99. He had, he almost had almost 250 yards, all-purpose yards. So, like you said, he's got to play an integral part, and I think if you use Barkley to set up the pass, I think Manning should be able to murder this secondary. If there's ever a time where we can go into that city,
oh gosh,
that stadium in front of those fans, and
for the Rocky,
and get it done, and show Rocky, the fake champion. Oh my God.
It's
Anyway. If there's ever a game, it should be this one, man. And I guess what worries me on defense is what always worries me against the pass. And Nelson Aguilar is a speed demon, and seems like he wasn't good until. I remember 2 years ago he caught a long pass on Eli Apple, and then he kind of took off. Like, he was struggling for a while. They hated him in Philly. And I think he caught a 50-yard touchdown pass where Apple blew the coverage and Collins. Mm-hmm. And, of course, it's against the Giants, and all of a sudden, he starts to look like a capable receiver, especially a deep threat. But Alshon Jeffrey, man, it reminds me of their version of Plaxico Burress, and he's a big guy, and Janoris Jenkins had a tough time with him. That's what scares me. And of course, public enemy number 1 for the Giant defense and any Giant fan is an opposing tight end. Yeah. And Zach Ertz is one of the best receiving ones in the league. So I'd say those 3 guys are the ones that we have to contain. I'm not worried about any running backs or.
Well, I tell you what, Jerry, there is a concern, a little bit of mine, in their running game with who else but a Golden Doma and Josh Adams. Now, this kid has been coming on a little bit the last few weeks. He's taken over. He's a home run threat. He's done it in Notre Dame, and he's starting to do it a little bit with the Eagles now. So, obviously, the number 1, Jerry, is going to be Zach Ertz. I mean, not only Zach Ertz kill us every game, but he's killing the rest of the league this year. He's got 77 catches, man, 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, and the Giants can't cover tight ends, so. Yeah, is he going to kill us? Probably, right? I mean, that's a given.
He's the definition of security.
Watch, I'm a little concerned about Josh Adams, this kid out of Notre Dame, for eating up some huge yards on us on the ground. So, of course, Wentz getting outside the pocket, down the field, that's always a concern. Hey, Jerry, their offensive line is not the same, my man. They've given up 31 sacks this year. I mean, in my opinion, Jerry, and I think a lot of people agree with me on this. I don't know if you do, but they had the best offensive line of football last year.
They did. They overtook Dallas last year.
I think you're absolutely right. They overtook Dallas. They were the best offensive line in the game, especially the last 8 games. I'm going to say the last 8 games right through the Super Bowl run. They were the best offensive line of football. This year, not the same. 31 sacks allowed. Wentz threw 3 picks last week. He was under pressure a lot from the Saints. So that's not going to happen with us, though. I mean, we know that. 11 sacks. So Wentz is going to have time, and that's going to be a problem as usual.
Yeah, your boy Adams, 34 carries on the season for 207 yards, 6.1 a carry. So
that's what I'm saying.
He's not coming out with
Yeah.
100 yards games, but he's getting 50, 40,
No.
61,
Yeah,
but he's only doing it on a couple carries. You're right.
Right, Jerry. He's not getting 20 carries a game. They're starting to, they got blown out last game, so obviously the running game was out of the question. But you look at his stats the last few weeks, he's getting big chunks of yards. I know him from Notre Dame, Jerry. He's a home run hit kid. Trust me.
Yeah, at first I thought it
kid.
was your Golden Dome bias, but you have a point as always.
No. I mean, listen, he's a Golden Dome, 11-0. We know that. We know the whole deal. But no, he's you have to be. What I'm saying, I'm just saying that just keep an eye on this kid for Sunday.
All right, buddy. So
It's not like we're stopping the run either, right, bud?
Yeah, I know. And one thing we didn't talk about on the post Tampa win was special teams, and and someone criticized us for it, which I like. I like the constructive criticism, and again, the feedback on the podcast has been tremendous. Everybody, thank you. Thanks for taking the poll yesterday. For those of you who aren't listening, please listen and keep giving us the great ratings. We're 5-star ratings. This is a lot of fun. And again, we'll keep doing this as long as everybody likes it. But Corey Coleman, what a shot in the arm on special teams, and what a pickup. And you're becoming a true insider, buddy. You are talking to these guys every day, and I'm not kidding. I mean, you're at their locker. You're in the locker room all the time. And you had a conversation with Corey Coleman, and he was kind of reminiscing. Well, not reminiscing, but reminiscing usually is a good thing. Talking about good memories, but he was talking about his time in Cleveland.
Actually, he was renting.
Yeah. So, but he's been a good shot in the arm. I mean, he's he's the best kick returner they've had all season, and the Giants special teams with Rosas, who's having a great year, and Dixon's having a great year. Special teams have been good for the Giants this year. Yeah.
This Coleman's been a nice shot in the arm, man. He was good in college at returning kickoffs. The Browns never considered putting him back there for some unknown reason, and for some unknown reason to Corey. Talking to him about it, I asked him, did you ever approach the Browns, or they ever think about, and he was like, nope, because I approached him. He goes, that's exactly the way he said it too. He was like, nope. He goes, I told them, I said, I'll do it. And they were like, yeah, we'll get back to you on it, And, it's pretty funny because I said to Coleman, I said, well, maybe that's one of the reasons why, Hugh Jackson won one game in 2 years. And he just like, well, I'm not going to touch that one. But he was laughing about it, But he's been, Sherman, great job by Pat Sherman, man. Seeing what he did in college, realizing the Giants need a shot in the arm back there a little bit, and putting him back there. And he's been great. I think he's averaging like 28 or 29 at kickoff. Return.
I think he had a 51-yarder last week.
Somebody brought it up on Twitter. I don't remember which person brought it up on Twitter, but somebody says, hey, this kid's going to break one real soon. You could tell he's pretty close, And I agree. I think this kid, I wouldn't surprise you if Coleman does bust one sooner or later.
One question, bud. Did you call Hugh Jackson a buffoon to Corey Coleman or no?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I wanted to be nice, but I did say, just to get into it quickly, Corey felt the Browns did not do him right. He took an injury in practice that he wasn't happy about when he was a rookie, and he could have kind of exposed Hugh Jackson and the organization a little bit. He didn't. He asked me not to exactly go into it, so I won't. But I can tell you that it was wrong what the Browns did to him. And then when they released him, they kind of threw it out that the kid was a problem with his attitude. And he didn't want to practice hard, and he had baggage. And I got to be honest with you. I was honest with him, Jerry. I said, hey, Corey, I got to be honest with you. The Giants signed you. I was like, this kid's a pro. Why would you sign him? From day one, Sherman's loved him. From day one, this kid's been working. And he explained to me why that stuff got out there about him. And it's pretty interesting, some of the inside stuff that these guys say. But we're happy to have him. Sherman loves him. I can tell you that. Sherman really likes him, Jerry. Likes him a lot. And he's been an asset so far, right? I mean, and let him get involved a little bit more with the offense, Jerry. You're going to have a pretty good third receiver for the rest of the season.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you were talking to a lot of people in the locker room, you tweeted about it a bit today. So for those who didn't see it on Twitter, and I think everybody saw it because I think we've got the most likes in our history. You had a conversation with a star wide receiver on the Giants.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it was just me and Mr. Beckham, me and Odell, just me and him for 10 minutes talking about everything that's going on. Excuse me. About the hypocrisy of former players, talking about his passion, how he gets upset over things, even talking about Landon's incident when he punched the net, how a morning show host, Boomer, talked about, can't believe he punched a net. And he's just shocked about how so many people, when it comes to him, are hypocrites. And he's 100% right. Okay? I even mentioned to him, Odell, I was one of the first ones to criticize you of some stuff, and I'm sure there's some stuff you would take back. And he admitted to it fully that I've done stupid stuff. He goes, but stuff like, that I'm a cokehead, this and that, he just can't believe some of the stuff that goes on about him. Listen, the kid plays with passion. He goes, he came right out and told me, Jerry, he goes, hey, Chris, I need the passion. I need the energy. I thrive on it. I have to play with it. Understood totally. He realizes, Jerry, that he has made mistakes. He's trying to mature. I think he is maturing. Not to say he won't do something maybe a little questionable down the road. He expressed his desire to stay here because of the stupid crap that's going around about, he's going to get traded, this and that. He knew Mara was not happy with the ESPN thing. I said it to him. Mara's pissed off at you. He's not pissed off anymore, Odell. He understands that. He's not going anywhere. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He expressed that he wants to win multiple Super Bowls with this organization, for these fans. You hear that? Who's listening? For the fans. He looked at me right in the eye. He says, I want to do it for these fans. Okay? And of course himself. He wants to be the best. Is anything wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Jerry. So, listen, Odell's great. Okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, this kid's been unbelievable. He's been a model thing. Listen, he's made mistakes. He's turning 25. He is 25 now. He's a leader in that locker room more and more every day, Jerry. Every day. He invites teammates over, wide receivers, defensive players over his house every Thursday. They have dinner. He invited people over today who didn't have family around the area over his house for dinner. Guys like Shepard, guys love him in the locker room. And listen, I'll be the first one, Jerry, and you were always the first one when he does something stupid to say, hey, Odell, this is stupid.
Yep.
But I tell you what, when people are going to take shots at him that don't know him, they're going to criticize stupid hypocrisy crap on him. Guess what? I'm going to go right there. And I told him, I said, I'll defend your butt right to the end. I'll write about it in the Giant Insider. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll defend you every time. When idiots want to come out and criticize me. You know why? Because half of it's because they're jealous of Odell. I'm sorry. But in the hypocrisy, when you see other guys in the league smashing helmets, giving fingers out, destroying buckets, all that crap, and Odell gets criticized for some of the stuff he does. Okay?
No, that's well said, Chris. And
thank you.
I always feel like there comes a game in everybody's career, especially early on, where this can be a kind of a defining game for him. I'm not trying to overstate this. However, the circumstances being that they are, where the Eagles have beaten us, 19 of 21 or something.
Yeah, 8 out of the last 10.
17 of 21 and 8
something like that, yeah.
It's something stupid. And if we can go in there and he can play a big part in beating this team in Philly, even if the Giants don't make the playoffs, which, look, the odds are against them. But say they win Sunday 4-7, it gets interesting, the Bears come to town, all of a sudden, game on, baby. We got a season now. If he can somehow have a hand in that win, which if they win, he probably will, you almost feel like it can be somewhat of a, I don't know, not a career-defining game, but just a step in the right direction for him. And like, went in, slay the dragon, got the monkey off our back. We finally can beat that team, and you just hope that or something like that, where he has a monster game, and Giant fans that make the trip down the turnpike can celebrate in that godforsaken city. But yeah, Chris, great job. Let's get to our picks, buddy. So today I actually had the Bears, Cowboys, and Saints, and you had the Falcons, Redskins, and Lions. I thought that's kind of weird. So I went 3-0. You went 0-3. It's a total lie.
Huh? I remember that. Okay. Sounds good.
It's a complete lie. Let's go to that's Sunday, 1 o'clock. Jaguars, Bills. Oof.
I'm gonna have to go with the Jaguars. I think Josh Allen's coming back, but I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I shouldn't really say they have a better defense. Bill's defense is actually pretty good, too. But I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Yeah, they got to win sooner or later, right? I mean,
that's the way. Eric, they got a real powerhouse left tackle now, so I figured they'll keep Bortles up.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. Did you see him, by the way?
Genius of personnel, Tom Coughlin.
Did you watch any of that? Did you happen to see any of that last week, Jerry?
I did.
Did you see Flowers getting...
Oh, my God. I can't believe he's in the NFL still. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I guess Tom Coughlin thought he was going to turn him around, but the Steelers were abusing
Like
him.
I said, I was in the media room when he was drafted, and we all talked to Coughlin, and he said, "Oh, he's a battleship." So he was on board. So Giant fans, just so you know, he was just as on board as Reese for that pick. But anyway, I digress. 1:00, Seahawks at Panthers. Good game.
Yeah, it's a good game, man. Carolina's lost 2 in a row. Seattle with a nice win against Green Bay. I tell you, on the grass, on the road, I'm going to go with Carolina in a real close one.
I agree because I think they've lost some heartbreakers, and I think they'll rebound at home. I'm with you, buddy. I'll take Carolina as well. Also, 1:00, Raiders at Ravens.
The Ravens. I like the Ravens. The Raiders won their one game for the month. So.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson got a lot more playing time than I thought he was going to get last week, and I think he's going to get the start again this week. So, the Raiders, I can't believe they beat Arizona. Not that Arizona is good, but I can't believe they won that game.
Yeah, I was shocked that the Raiders won that. They're not going to win this week in Baltimore, even if Jackson is playing. By the way, Jackson's not going to be in this league long if he plays like he did last week. The 17 rush or 20-something rushes.
Yeah, the knock on him
he's going to get killed.
The knock on him coming out was that he ran too much, and a lot of people took it offensively. They said, well, because a lot of teams wanted to make him a running back or a receiver, and he kind of showed you last week, like, oh, man, you really hope he doesn't keep doing that because he's really going to hurt himself.
He's going to get killed. He's going to get killed. No question about it.
49ers at Buccaneers.
I'm going to go with the offense. I'm going to go. Jameis is back this week after Fitz threw that air ball that Wiley came down with. He probably won't be playing for the rest of the year unless Jameis Winston gets hurt. I'm going to go with the offense. I'm going to go Winston and the Bucs in this one.
I'm with you, too. The Giants have beaten both these teams, and that's really something you never hear, right? The Giants have beaten both these teams, no matter what teams are playing. Wow, that's unbelievable that I can say that out loud. I agree. After Fitzpatrick threw the Hail Mary in the third quarter that Curtis Riley came down with. Yeah, I think the Buccaneer offense will be too much for the 49ers. Browns at Bengals.
Browns at Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Flip a coin.
Yeah, right, exactly. The Bengals will look hard. They can't stop anybody, but I'll go with. I think AJ Green might be back this week, so I'll go with the Bengals at home.
I'll go with the Browns just to be different. We've chosen all the same. This won't be a coin flip for me. I don't feel strongly one way or the other, but I love Baker Mayfield, so I'll go Browns. Oh, this one's going to be tough for Jets fans. Patriots at Jets.
Jets are going to wipe the floor. No, Belichick's pissed. He hates the Jets with a passion. They lost. They got humiliated their last game. So 2-week bye for Belichick to break down the wizard Todd Bowles. So I'm going to go with. I think I'll go with my boy Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, Todd Bowles is clearly on borrowed time, and I said before, man, I wouldn't even play Darnold the rest of the year. I don't know what he's going to gain.
Did you happen to hear, Jerry? Excuse me 1 second. Did you happen to hear Darrelle Revis' interview?
I heard about it. I didn't hear it. I heard about it.
Well, he came right out and said, Bowles' first year when they had to beat the Bills to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Week 16. And Revis came right out and said they weren't prepared. He thought they were just going to steamroll. That's a pretty damning statement against Todd Bowles right there.
Yeah, I take what Revis says with a grain of salt, and but I believe him on this one. But for me, any Jet fan that likes Darrelle Revis, my analogies are always out there. But he was a Jet, he was a great Jet. Then he held out, then he got money, then he got hurt, then he left, then he went and won a championship with your rival. Then he came back and said, "I'm home." Took a lot of money, stunk. Then retired. That's like your wife cheating on you with your best friend, coming back and being like, I love you so much. Like, I don't understand how, or I'm sorry, it'd be like your wife cheating on you with your mortal enemy. I don't understand how they were just so okay with him doing all that. Like, if I'm a Jets fan, I don't like Darrelle Revis. Like, can you imagine Odell holding out, then leaving and winning it with either the Cowboys or Eagles, then coming back and saying, "I'm home," then stinking? Like, would you like Odell if he did that, or Barkley, or geez? Yeah. Anyway, so.
Well, I don't think that would happen with John Mara as opposed to the Johnsons over there.
Anyway, sorry for that rant.
But just the one quick thing, that was a pretty damning statement against Bowles. And if you saw the way the Jets played against the Bills 2 weeks ago, they didn't show up. They didn't want to be there. So it doesn't surprise me that Revis said that.
Yeah, Bowles' days are numbered. I don't know why they would make a change now, but anyway.
Yeah, he's a dead man walking.
Cardinals at Chargers, first of the 4 o'clocks.
Chargers in a blowout.
Yeah, not even close. Steelers at Broncos.
Steelers.
Yeah, rooting for the Broncos, but I'll take the Steelers too. Dolphins at Colts.
I tell you, this Colts story with Frank Reich is becoming more and more amazing to me, man. It really is. They've won 4 in a row and haven't given up a sack in 5. I mean, just, oh man, for a guy that got killed over the years, that's an amazing stat.
You could say it. What's the difference with the Colts offensive line? Go ahead.
Oh, oh, the Golden Dome. We know that. Quentin Nelson. You see what happens when you put Golden Domes on your squad? You hate to say, right, Jerry? I know you're going to kill me for this, but how about Dallas's linebacking crew there with that Jalen Smith, huh?
Well, and for those of you listening, I don't hate Notre Dame. I just laughed. My father was, God rest
his soul. Yeah, your father was a diehard Notre Dame guy.
Huge Notre Dame fan. He would say it, but he would say this stuff when they stunk. He would say, "You got to draft more guys from Notre Dame." I'm like, "Dad, Notre Dame's not even ranked." You know, and then the Giants take Justin Tuck. He has a great career. He's like, see, you should have took more.
Waller was a bright guy, man. Right. You know, as opposed to somebody else like his son, who's just an angry guy. But
I am, and I'll tell you why I'm angry. Like this next matchup, Packers Vikings. Like I'm just rooting for a tie again because there's so many fraud Packer Vikings fans in the Northeast.
The Vikings lost right to the Bears game. I'm gonna have to go with. Man, I tell you, something tells me the Packs. You know what? The Pack always burns you. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Oh, how about Aaron Rodgers' brother calling him out on him not calling his mother or something during the wildfires? Like, that was embarrassing on Twitter. I'm going with the Vikings at home.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like either of those teams. Monday night, Titans at Texans. This is a good game.
Yeah, what the wrinkle here is that Marcus Mariota looks like he might not play. I don't know if he's going to go. I think it's going to be a close one though. You know, the Titans were playing well until last week, and it was, you know, I think the emotion of beating the Patriots the week before kind of drained them against a red hot Colt team. But I think they'll come back with a strong performance in this. But I'm still going to go to the Texans in a last second field goal type game.
I'm going to go Texans as well. All right, buddy. On the moment of truth. The most important game of the week, the most important game of the season. We have relevant football somehow. Despite the fact that we are 3-7, we are relevant going into the city of brotherly hate to face the Eagles at 1 o'clock. Who do you like?
I tell you what, Jerry, if we had any kind of a pass rush, I would go with the Giants. We just cannot get to the quarterback. And I think Wentz, you know what scares me, Jerry, that this is a wounded animal team. You know, they got embarrassed. They were called out by their own teammate. Malcolm Jenkins called his own teammates out. The city's down on them. I think they're going to come out with a good effort. I hate to say it, man, but I just think Wentz is going to have enough time to do his thing again outside the pocket. And I think Josh Adams is going to have, I don't know why, but I just think this kid Adams is going to have a real good game on us. I think I'm going to have to go with the Eagles, man. I hate to say it, but we just can't beat this team. Until they beat this team, I'm going to go with them.
So for the better part of the last 5 years, we've been walking to school and we've been getting our butts kicked by a big bully. And the bully's been laughing at us all the time. I mean, he beats us. He takes our lunch money. He kicks us when we're down. He beats up our friends. He throws eggs at our house when we're home or not home or whatever. But this time the bully's hurt. And we're going in with our 2 friends this time. We're walking to school with Odell and Saquon with renewed confidence, with a coach that has the heartbeat of this team and understands it. A team that doesn't give up. A team that refuses to quit despite the fact that they were 1-7. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going into Philly, and we're going to win. I don't know if it's going to be by 1. I don't know if it's going to be by 3. I don't know if it's going to be by 30. We are going in. Odell and Saquon and Eli will lead us to victory.
All right. Hey, how about we win a game for once against Philadelphia, like on a Rosas 55-yarder at the buzzer or something like that?
I don't care what the play is. I don't care if the Eagles miss a 17-yard field goal to lose. But I just think, and the reason I say this is 2012, the Giants got murdered in a couple games as Super Bowl champs. They got beat by Atlanta badly. I think they got shut out 34-0. They got beat badly in Cincinnati, and we thought, oh, they're going to be mad the next week. And I'm not thinking what they did that next week, but the Giants never recovered and were never anywhere close to the team they were. So
Right.
even though they lost 48-7, I just don't think the Eagles can turn it on. I think their secondary is depleted, and I think as long as they can contain Wentz, and even if they don't get to him, at least contain him in the pocket and don't let him hurt him with their legs. I think the Giants will do enough. I think their offense is good enough to beat this defense that is hurting. And I think Jamon Brown is a huge upgrade over Omame, and it will help neutralize, not stop, but neutralize Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, well, you still got to worry about, I'm still worried about the Michael Bennett and Brandon Grahams too, Jerry, off those edges. Man.
Okay, Chris, just let me have my moment, man.
If they could just contain this defensive front and keep them off Eli, Jerry, I'm with you, bud. I really am. I just don't think they could, Jerry. But you know what, Bud? It's a good call by you, man. How about Barkley as the key, man? Barkley runs all over the wild, and that sets up Eli. Let's go with that, Bud.
All right.
Come on, let's do that. Coach Shermer, you just keep feeding the rock to Barkley, baby.
All right, buddy. Good job, and nice job to do this on Thanksgiving. All right, everybody, be sure to order your copy of the Giant Insider newspaper. Go to www.giantinsider.com or visit magster.com for a digital subscription. That's magzter.com. Yearly subscriptions are $40 for paper copies, and digital versions are only $17 for a yearly subscription. Our next podcast will drop at 8 p.m. on Monday. Hopefully, it'll be a victorious one like the last two were. November 26th, so we recap the Giants matchup with the City of Evil. And we'll probably put out Twitter questions as well. We like doing that, so we'll do that on Monday as well. Thanks for listening to the Giant Insider Podcast. I'm Jerry Foley. He's Chris Bisignano. Remember, Sundays are Giant days. Happy Thanksgiving, and thank you, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving again, everybody.